We people, mindful of our shared humanity, commit to practice and nurture forgiveness and reconciliation, to foster healing, harmony, justice, and sustainable peace in our world. The Peace Charter for Forgiveness and Reconciliation was conceived as a tool to transform memories and deep-seated responses to legacies of injustice, conflict, and war. A collaborative team of international peacemakers, scholars, and faith practitioners formed the editorial team. They completed the Peace Charter text, which has subsequently been discussed, blessed, and endorsed around the world. In 2019, the Peace Charter was adopted by Religions for Peace International during their 10th World Assembly. In 2022, it was introduced in Accra, Ghana, as a tool to overcome the centuries-old pain and conflict caused by the transatlantic slave trade. In 2022, it was also launched at the House of Lords in London, UK, emphasizing the importance of forgiveness and reconciliation within political and personal peace-building initiatives. The Peace Charter will continue to travel the world as part of our collective efforts to seek justice, harmony, and sustainable peace.
I think it's really significant that today the Charter is being launched in the House of Lords, because it signals the fact that this is relevant to every single strata of society. I know we've had our grassroots engagements, but this is also saying right from the House of Lords, from the Houses of Parliament here in the UK, this matters, and it matters for all of us, for policymakers and politicians, for teachers and business folk, and for mothers and fathers and children. It matters for us all.
Forgiveness is something that sets us free from a sense of burden. It liberates us from anger and resentment. As humans, we're created in the image and likeness of God to love. And so without forgiveness, there can be no true sense of love.
This is no one religion, no all religions, or no one entity can actually do this. We need to have a clear partnership and collaboration between all entities, whether it is, spiritual institutions or civil society or government. So the whole of society approach. No one should be left behind as we continue to promote forgiveness.
This is an exciting event to see and be with people who are promoting non-violence and reconciliation, forgiveness, and also launching this charter in the UK is an exciting and I think a historic event, and I wanted to be part of it.
I've discovered that forgiveness is absolutely critical to our relationships as human beings. I would say our relationship with God, to encounter God's forgiveness, is transformative. To find ways to experience forgiveness within families. We have all sorts of difficulties within families, inevitably. Human beings sometimes fall out, but there are ways back through a long road of forgiveness.
It is these ancient paths of right living, right being, right doing, and right acting that we must return to if these dry bones of violence and war are to be renewed and transformed into a life-giving process.
I pay tribute to all of those who played a really important part in creating this charter for peace through forgiveness and reconciliation.
Right now we are actually unveiling the Peace Charter for Forgiveness and Reconciliation here in the Houses of Lords.
in our hearts, we want to be at peace with ourselves and our families and our communities, and it's deep within us to be at peace.
I've had a lifetime of seeking forgiveness and reconciliation in situations of violent conflict. So the Peace Charter for Forgiveness and Reconciliation could not be closer to my heart.
The justice system is built upon legislation, upon laws. Laws are built upon and made possible by values. You can't have laws that are not based on any values. And I think one of the strengths of the Peace Charter is that it puts together those specific values that are inherent to forgiveness. Every legislation is there to assure justice, ostensibly. But what we're perhaps lacking is that membrane of memory, the memory of the values that inform justice.
I think the Charter is so important. Many people have spent a long time ensuring that every word has been carefully crafted. Let's see how we can spread this far and wide and get others to read it and spend time considering the words within it, just as those who've written it have spent time writing it.
I think the Charter's an excellent foundation on which to build. I think the next steps is thinking about how we actually put that into practice.
Forgiveness applies to not only personal relationships, not only, as it were, to our spiritual relationship with God, but to relationships between nations, between whole communities. That, for me, has become fundamental.
In Arabic, we say, "Inna Allah ghafurun rahim." And translation, God is merciful, forgiving and merciful. If mighty God is merciful and forgiving, then every one of us should be following that and implementing that.
Forgiveness and reconciliation, they're not just to do with personal lives or even family lives. They are to do with our common life as human beings right across the world. Policymakers need to take them seriously to bring about a peaceful world.
Our scriptures state, Manatu Jot Sarup hai apna mool pachan, meaning that human beings are divinely endowed with reasoning, power and choice, which we must use wisely. We can use this power to negatively create conflict or positively forge peace. To make a difference, inner change must precede outer change. We must seek out and act upon divine wisdom. Let us nurture a new consciousness together, learning to lovingly control our mind, and the world around us will become transformed. Thank you.